This is Action 7 News Live at 5. Breaking news is happening now.
Good afternoon. We have a dangerous situation unraveling in Los Alamos, potentially deadly. In fact, thousands are forced out due to a mandatory evacuation. A fire is threatening the area, including Los Alamos National Lab. Homes have already gone up in flames, and now firefighters are working to make sure Los Alamos is spared. Now, we have full coverage of this firefight for you tonight. A team in the air and a full team on the ground gathering details in every part of Los Alamos and the surrounding communities. We begin with Alana Greenfogel, who has the very latest. She's been covering this fire since last night. Alana?
Doug, 10,000 people are packing up, leaving their homes, leaving their city tonight. The city of Los Alamos is under a mandatory evacuation. Now, this fire has taken twists and turns. The situation right now is quite different than it was early this morning, and we want to take you through, step you through that whole process. We were out here last night back at 4 o'clock this morning, and as people woke up here in Los Alamos, they were still under a voluntary evacuation. Most people stayed home. A few people with health issues did leave. Then at noon today, city and county officials held a press conference. There they told us they estimate about 30 homes had been burned, could be even more. Told us at that point 44,000 acres, but had the potential to double, even triple. Moments after that press conference, officials changed the entire course and called a mandatory evacuation. Now, I spoke with the fire chief here in Los Alamos, and he told me that the reason they changed their mind is because the fire was making a run at the ski basin, and that was one of those defining factors. If that happens, they want to get people out of this town. This is precautionary. They say at this point, no homes are in danger. The city is not in danger, but since the fire advanced to that point, they want to make sure if it does progress towards homes and towards the city, that nobody is here and nobody would get hurt. Now, the governor is expected right now to be in Espanola, where many of these people are evacuating. Not only are people in homes, we're talking hospitals, nursing homes, finding refuge at hospitals and nursing homes throughout the area. Other communities in Espanola and Santa Fe, for example, are opening their shelters, opening their arms to the people who need a place to be. The governor is going to see them and talk to them as we speak. She was here in Los Alamos last night, and just last night around midnight told us that the city is not in danger, the lab is not in danger, how quickly that can change. And officials have noticed that from the first moment, that while we're safe right now, the winds, the weather, the heat could change at any moment. They're at the mercy of the weather. Speaking of the weather, we actually felt a little sprinkle here. It was very, very brief, but forestry officials say that helps. The overcast skies are helping to keep the heat down. That sprinkle in this area and the surrounding areas hopefully can only be on the firefighter side and help them. But how things have changed last night when the governor was here saying that people were safe, and now they are telling everybody to leave as a precaution because that fire has made so much headway. Entire county of Los Alamos is evacuated except White Rock. Those people are told to stay, but people here are told not to go to White Rock because there is a chance that that area could be evacuated as well. And we will have the latest information throughout the evening. We've got team coverage. For now, Alana Greenfogel reporting in Los Alamos.
And new information is coming in minute by minute. This is just released at the top of the hour. As of 7:30 tonight, that is in 2.5 hours, as of 7:30 tonight, the main route in and out of Los Alamos, of course, nobody should be going in, but the main route out, New Mexico 502, will be shut down. That entire road will be shut down in both directions. If you still are in town for whatever reason and you need to get out, you can still use State Route 4. Now, again, the evacuations, the mandatory evacuation order came out earlier in the afternoon, and this town did it in 3 stages. First group, there was some communities in part of Group 1. There were also some communities part of Group 2. And as of 4 o'clock, Group 3 was told they had to get out as well. So that was all 3 areas were told as of 4 o'clock. The reverse 911 calls were made, and that all those folks had received their call that they needed to get out at that time. And as we've been seeing over the last hour, a long stream of vehicles heading out on New Mexico Road 502. But again, that road will be shut down at 7:30. Now let's go check one of our other reporters on the ground. Action 7 News reporter Will Carr with the very latest. Will?
Doug, I want to show you exactly what's going on right now. For the past couple of hours, we've been seeing residents flooding out of Los Alamos. There's been a steady flow of cars coming on Highway 502 right now. We were just in town. I want to show you exactly what we saw. Some thick smoke has set in, and residents who are still in the area are really struggling to breathe right now. Residents are packing everything that they have. They're loading up their animals and packing their cars to the brim. And we just spoke to several people evacuating the area. Here's what they told us.
They were sending trucks through my neighborhood just saying evacuate, evacuate on a big horn. So here I am. I've got my cat and my bird and we're off.
And as you can tell, 502 is still open, but like Doug just said, at 7:30 tonight, it will close down. Now, there's also a question from some residents, even though there's a mandatory evacuation here in Los Alamos, if they have to leave, even if they sign a waiver. We've asked authorities, and we haven't been able to get a clear answer on that. We'll bring you the details in a live report coming up later in the show. Right now, reporting in Los Alamos, Will Carr, KOAT Action 7 News.
As you just saw in that story that Will just talked about, the lady grabbed her cat and grabbed her bird and got out of town like she is supposed to. Know we do have some information regarding animal evacuations for people worried about their pets or cattle. Espanola Valley Humane Society says it is accepting pets from families. They also say they are able to provide a staging ground for any livestock with the exception of cattle. They are also building a list of people in the community with barn space to help you with evacuated livestock. For more information, call the number on the bottom, 505-753-8662. Another option is to take your animals to Santa Fe. Now, the Northern New Mexico Horsemen's Association says it is accepting livestock as well. It has stalls for up to 110 animals, but you need to bring water and feed. Because of staffing, you may need to do that yourself. Now, as is the situation with all firefights, the wind and the weather, the temperature specifically, also play a major factor in the firefight. Here's Joe with the latest on that.
Well, you know, yesterday we had just howling winds across the area, and the fire was quickly spreading. And the situation is the winds have come down as we look at the various reporters around the scene. We don't see them kicked around by the brutal winds like we did when we were covering Cerro Grande about 11 years ago. However, what we do have is Los Alamos is reporting a south wind at 10 miles an hour, gusting to 16 miles an hour. That's pretty good for them, but there's going to be some erratic fire behavior because what's going to happen, there's a front dropping down the eastern portion of the state, and that's going to work through the Guadalupe Pass area on into Glorieta Pass area, I should say, and give them a little southeast kick, and that's going to be some erratic wind shifts for the firefighters. Lana Gold was talking about a little bit of a sprinkle. You see this band of moisture from Tezuki, Nambe on into Espanola. Let's go back an hour. That's the cell. Most of it was to the south of our area, so it wasn't beneficial rain at all. In fact, if it did anything, it probably on the periphery of this fire ignited and gave some erratic wind behavior to the thing as that thunderstorm was moving on through. But thunderstorms now starting to blossom up pretty good around the Espanola area. So the forecast tonight, southeasterly winds 15 to 25 miles an hour, and the southwest is from that front dropping down the east, coming up Glorieta Pass and giving them that a little bit of a push on into the wind area. The bad thing about the push, it's a wind shift. That's not good for firefighters. The good news is that you get a little bit more relative humidity and the fire won't burn as much overnight, but we lose all that tomorrow because the dry southwest winds continue to come in play. We do have a few severe storms fired up along this front. I'll show you more about that in my main weathercast coming up in just a bit.
Los Alamos community knows all too well how in a split second a fire can ruin everything. The Cerro Grande fire is still fresh in a lot of people's minds even after more than a decade. And as Action 7 News reporter Alana Greenfogle tells us, the fire is causing some painful memories.
The sun brought with it proof.
We spent all last night packing.
This is not a bad dream about the past.
The effects are lingering.
11 years ago,
11 years in a way isn't that long.
the city of Los Alamos was torched.
This is home.
Hundreds of homes and tens of thousands of acres gone.
The tears in their eyes were genuine, and it's hard. It is just so difficult to live through that again.
People never thought they'd see smoke.
We saw it all the way from the Colorado border.
Or ash like that again in their lifetime.
You don't forget that very easy.
And now that people are being forced to leave their homes, we hear from so many people the same four words.
Oh, the fire was in town. You know, the flames were right here.
Here we go again.
It's like post-traumatic stress. I think some people are reacting to it. We saw people packing up yesterday right away.
And while some stores are closed today, won't even tape the doors to keep the smoke out, people are out and about, resembling normal life, but many others are on edge.
People are anxious, certainly.
Because anything can change at a moment's notice, strictly at the mercy of the wind and the weather. One look up at the sky,
The flames last night, seeing those was tough again.
can bring those painful memories back to life.
I think Los Alamos is a very resilient community. I really do. And I think we've seen that.
Reporting in Los Alamos,
It was ugly. It was ugly for a long time.
Alana Greenfogel, KOAT Action 7 News.
Now, as you heard from Alana Greenfogel at the top of our newscast, Governor Susana Martinez is touring the evacuation center, talking to the evacuees right now. But earlier in the day, we had a chance to catch up with her and talk to her about the resources dedicated to this firefight and the money that may be necessary also to fight these flames.
It is moving quickly. I was there last night around 1 o'clock in the morning to make sure that all resources that were necessary, all resources available to the state were made available. We have the National Guard on ground. We have the state police available as well, and making sure that when evacuation started, that they were ready to do so safely and orderly.
As you can imagine, a big concern for the firefighters up in Los Alamos is the Los Alamos National Lab. It was back in 2000 with Cerro Grande that 9,000 acres and a number of structures were burned and destroyed during the Cerro Grande fire. So, of course, a lot of assets and resources being dedicated to helping protect that facility now. For an update on that situation, let's go to Action 7 News reporter Todd Unger.
Hey there, Doug. Yeah, as you can imagine, aside from the town, the chief concern out here is, of course, Los Alamos National Laboratories. We are just up there. The place up there kind of looks like a ghost town. Here's what we can tell you from earlier in the day. A 1-acre spot fire was spotted on lab property. That was near the southwest border in technical area 49. We are told there are a few outbuildings in that area, kind of a training facility. But again, we do not know yet if those buildings were hurt. Crews are still assessing the situation. The lab really says that this could be a story so far of being much worse, because after that fire in 2000, they've been preparing for another big blaze.
In the last 6 to 7 years, we've taken an incredible amount of resources and time and energy. We've thinned forests, we've created alarm systems, we've activated a lot of fire protection measures on our property.
Now, as we say, fire crews on the ground have been trying to protect the lab property by attacking mostly from the ground. Obviously, that was working for a while, but like we said, that 1-acre spot fire on lab property. Again, a couple structures threatened, but those are mostly a training facility, a warehouse, that type of thing. None of those secret buildings or the buildings that are, vital to security. We'll have much more on this coming up tonight at 6. Live, Todd Unger, KOAT Action 7 News.
We're also learning new details about that small fire that was burning in technical area 49. We'll have that for you coming up tonight at 6. Of course, as you just saw, we've got Todd Unger out there, Alana Greenfogel, Tanya Mendez, Will Carr, and also Ana Velasquez in Sky 7. More live updates coming your way in just a few moments. Now here's Joe.
Yeah, that thunderstorm that was just passing to the south of the fire in Los Alamos is now exploding pretty good. A powerful thunderstorm just east of the Espanola area. It has some hail with it. More about what to expect with that and the changing environment overnight and what that will mean for firefighters coming up.
Action 7 News, coverage you can count on.
We're still following Los Alamos fire that exploded to 43,000 acres today. Joining me now live through Satellite 7, our Sat 7 truck, is Action 7 News reporter Will Carr with an update on the situation regarding New Mexico Road 502, which should be shut down in a little over 2 hours. Will?
Doug, yeah, I want to tell you exactly what just happened. I'm standing right behind the Los Alamos Airport. A helicopter filled with forestry firefighters just took off. They'll be going to go look over the fire to see exactly where the flames are burning at this point. Now, that comes while residents are continuing to flood off of Highway 502 out of Los Alamos. They are leaving the area under this mandatory evacuation. Now, 502 is obviously still open. We're told that at 7:30 tonight, it will shut down, but between now and then we're told that residents will be able to get back in if it's absolutely necessary. We'll continue to bring you live reports as they come. Right now in Los Alamos, Will Carr, KOAT Action 7 News.
As Will just alluded to, at 7:30 that road will be shut down, and what we're being told is only individuals with an emergency-related reason will be allowed to enter again. Now, we do not know exactly what that emergency situation or reason is. Now, right now, we're going to go back to Action 7 News reporter Alana Greenfogel with an update on the situation regarding the hospital. Alana?
Doug, that's right. It's one thing to pack up yourself and your family, get into a car and drive out of town, but what about the patients in the hospital, perhaps the elderly that are in the nursing home? This is a very difficult process for all of them, but it has gone extremely smoothly here in Los Alamos. I'll tell you, we went over to the hospital earlier today, and we're told there were about 5 to 6 patients there, only a handful that were there at the time of the evacuation, but they all were either discharged or taken to St. Vincent in Santa Fe, and we're told no hiccups. It all went very smoothly. Also, nursing home, for example, Sombrio here in Los Alamos, there were about 30 people there who were taken to the Española Valley Nursing and Rehab Center. Now, they have just completely opened their facilities and opened their arms to these people. Busloads of them came into town, into Española, and it was a real community effort. We're told the mayor brought over extra pillows for them. Casinos came to bring food. Everybody chipping into these people who are having a hard enough time as it is, and they say they will be helping them for as long as it takes. Now, I want to tell you, I just spoke with some county officials, and just to give you a little bit of an update on the evacuation situation here, they say most of the heavy traffic has already gone through. These are some of the last people to make their way out of town. So if you were waiting for that traffic to subside, this is a good time to pack up and get ready. Interesting point here, most people were packed already. Not the case 10 years ago, as we've been talking about, but all day long we've been talking to people, and they say they learned their lesson from that. They were told in a split second that they had to leave town. They had nothing packed, none of their personal belongings, sentimental valuables that they'd want to bring with them. So last night, as soon as that first plume of smoke went up, many people said they just packed up a few suitcases just in case, making this evacuation here a lot easier. And crews are out right now evaluating the fire situation, and they say if the weather is cooperating, they will do airdrops to try to get a handle on this enormous fire now spreading more than 50,000 acres. Reporting in Los Alamos, Alana Greenfogel, KOAT Action 7 News.
Now, Alana, you were on scene 24 hours ago, right after the fire really started to flare up. Could you, if you can, differentiate the scene now as opposed to what it was 24 hours ago when you first got on scene? Describe the sky and the firefight and all the assets that are out there now.
Absolutely. You can see the helicopters, but I'll answer your question in a moment, taking off. We're right across from the airport. They are taking off to evaluate that fire and see if they can try to attack it from the air. But to answer your question, a very different scene. Yesterday, crystal blue skies, but just enormous, huge plumes of smoke. I mean, black, jaw-dropping. People as far away as Santa Fe pulling over to the side of the road to take out their cameras, take a picture, couldn't believe what it looked like. Today it's different. It's a haze. It looks like a cloudy day. It looks like a very unusual day for what New Mexico is used to. It looks like it's about to rain. Of course, that would sure be a dream here, but not that defined plume. It's just spread so much that there's just this haze in the sky, and that's also testament to how much the fire has spread. Doug?
And one more quick question, Alana. You mentioned just a second ago that it's grown to more than 50,000 acres. That's the first time we've heard that. Who has told you it's grown to more than 50,000 acres?
I just got off the phone before we started the show with the fire chief, and he told me that the last estimate was 44,000. That's what we had heard from him. He said he would ballpark it was about 10 more, but he was safe to say it at least had crossed that 50,000 mark. And that's, again, a very small estimate to what it could be. Earlier today, the same fire chief said this fire has the potential to double, even triple in size.
All right, I appreciate the information, Alana. We'll get back to you maybe in this newscast, but definitely on Action 7 News live at 6. We're going to go over to Chief Meteorologist Joe Diaz for an update on the wind and weather situation, but as we just heard, very good chance it's over 50,000 acres, which means it is now larger than the Cerro Grande fire from May of 2000.
And you know it is. We woke up this morning, it was 44,000 acres. All it's been doing is burning all day long, so you can easily capture a few more thousand acres. I think another startling thing is Alana's talking to the fire chief, and the fire chief is saying this thing could double or triple. And the problem with that is that there is going to be some gusty winds the next couple of days. Not as bad as what we had yesterday, though, but it's so bone dry out there, and when they do get a boost of relative humidity, the southwesterly winds take it away right away. way. Now, right now at the airport, only gusting up to 16 miles an hour at Los Alamos Airport. Here's that cluster of thunderstorms that passed to the south of the region, and now you're gone with it, all right? As we look right now, the potential is for southeasterly winds 15 to 25, maybe gusting up to 30, 35 miles an hour. Front dropping through, it could give some glory to pass and push that wind in a southeasterly direction. It'll do a couple of things. The bad thing is a wind shift. The good thing would be, for a time at least, you're going to get some higher humidity levels, which will slow down the burning a bit. The bad news is you're going to lose it overnight. Let's go out in time. This is our exclusive forecast for you. And now we're looking at 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. It's picking up on that southeast wind. So between now and tomorrow, there will be that push that could prove havoc with some firefighters as a southeasterly gust starts to work into the area. Now, this is also a time where firefighters are going to wake up tomorrow. There's going to be more humidity in the air than what they had today, so that's good. But, and you know, they talked about fire drops. Yeah, they're going to do fire drops. It's going to be pretty good for the first half of the day, and they probably won't have as erratic fire behavior as what they had this morning because of the higher humidity levels from those southeast winds. All right, as we get into the afternoon, though, we're back to the southwest winds. It will dry everything out again, occasional gusts to 30, 35 miles an hour, and that's just going to play havoc with firefighters and whether they can do those aerial drops late in the afternoon again. All right, so that's the situation with the fire there. That one thunderstorm that passed with very little fanfare throughout the Los Alamos area is now working to the east of Espanola. It does have a little bit of hail and gusty winds, so folks around Chuchis and Chimayo, you might want to take shelter from it, not at severe levels, but it's a pretty powerful storm nevertheless, just like this one over around Wagon Mound. There's some hail and winds probably over 50 miles an hour with it. You just might want to avoid that area over the next half hour. Here's that front dropping down. For Albuquerque, it means 20, 30 mile per hour canyon winds, gusts up to 40 at the mouth of the canyon. Earlier, we had some severe storms. This one crossed right over Interstate 40, well to the east of Klein's Corner. It had the potential to drop off quarter-size hail. It's now weakening, so no severe thunderstorm warning there. And we had severe thunderstorm warnings anywhere from Highway 247 east of Corona down to around areas to the northeast of Capitan. That's moving to the east. It's weakening, so it's not throwing down the large hail like it was earlier. So temperatures are very hot, 80s and 90s throughout northern portion of New Mexico, triple-digit heat everywhere else. Relative humidity levels, this yellow area, that's not so good for the fire at all, but a little bit of this more higher humidity will work in during the overnight hours, and as we look at the wind gusts, not near as bad as what we had yesterday. So the winds for tonight will be coming down. You get that shifting wind we've been talking about. Tomorrow morning, it'll be good for firefighters, a little bit more of a relative humidity boost as well. By the afternoon, here you go. It doesn't look like much, 10 to 20 mile per hour winds, but when you got a 50,000 acre fire, that's just what they don't need. It looks like that's going to be in play over the next couple of days, and those showers and thunderstorms around tonight will be ending. I'm going to show you this tomorrow simply because with that added humidity, there could be some isolated thunderstorms around, and with those isolated thunderstorms, they could be producing some gusty winds near the Los Alamos fire, which would also be bad as well. We'll update the rest of the forecast coming up at 6 o'clock with your zones around the state. Back to you, Doug. All
right, again, we've got a team of reporters on the ground up in Los Alamos covering this fire. We'll have more live updates coming your way in just a moment. Good afternoon. We're still following the Los Alamos fire, which at last official report had ballooned to about 43,500 acres. Joining me now with new information regarding the plan to try and protect the town of Los Alamos is Action 7 News reporter Alana Greenfogel. Alana?
Doug, that's right. Many people are, of course, leaving. Everybody is leaving, and of course, lives are the most important thing. But these people are leaving with a lot of anxiety. What are they going to come back to? What's going to happen to their homes, to all of their belongings? Well, fire crews and city officials are on standby. We are told, I just got off the phone with county officials, and we're told that crews from Espanola, Santa Fe, Albuquerque, all over the state are on standby. And if that fire gets any closer to the city, if it threatens the city anymore, then they will be here trying to keep it back and protect those homes. Now, one thing that did help, last night crews burned a lot of the fuel. The backburning, we're told, was very effective, but it got too close for comfort, and that's why there are all these evacuations. We were told still 30 homes destroyed is the latest update. We've also been told an apple orchard. White Rock, again, not under evacuation, and we're told there is no threat to the folks in that area. Doug?
All right, thank you, Alana. Of course, as always, some of the best video that comes out of any of these types of fires comes from Sky 7. Right now, Action 7 News reporter Ana Velasquez is up there in Sky 7 with pilot Neil Lawson. Anna, what are you seeing?
Check. 1, 2. Hi, this is Ana Velasquez reporting from Sky 7. We are on approach from the southeast side to the fire up ahead of us. We're just seeing tons of smoke here. I'm looking at lots of gray smoke, black smoke, and to the western side, southwestern side here, we see a new, what looks like a new plume of smoke just up around this fire. Now, all day long we've been here, and the smoke is so thick it actually blocks out the sun in some places, and looks like the most active fire right now is closest to Los Alamos on the upper end of Frijoles Canyon, and that's where air support is attacking as much as they can right now. They are dipping into the Rio Grande and the White Rock Canyon, and again, they are trying to attack this fire as much as they can. I'll have more coming up tonight at 6. For now, reporting live from Sky 7, I'm Ana Velasquez, KOAT Action 7 News.
As you can see from that live look through Sky 7, a lot of smoke, new smoke that's burning up there at the Los Alamos fire, burning up in the Los Alamos area. Again, mandatory evacuations have been in place since early on in the afternoon. We have been tracking all this information. If you can't see it on air, go to KOAT.com online. And we, of course, have the very latest information, live reports on the ground, and also from Sky 7 coming up on Action 7 News, live at 6. See you then.
Action 7 News.